right, welcome back to Safety Harbor Scott. I'm Scott Long, and my guest today is J. Craig Wright of Fidelity Funding Mortgage Group. Welcome, Jay.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, and you're actually going to be talking about something that's of great interest to me because affordable housing, I think, is a huge problem in Safety Harbor, has been for a while. And you're going to be telling us about this great not a new program, newly expanded program, correct? Called Hometown Heroes, that will make it easier for first-time home buyers to have a piece of that American dream that you and I have, but it's getting harder for other people to have.
Yes.
Correct? All right, well, let's get started here. I mean, one of the things that's interesting, I read an article yesterday that median home price has risen 40% in the last 3 years.
It's insane.
Right? So
the usual average is 3.8% a year.
Yeah.
That's what's pretty normal.
And we're talking 40% over 3 years. Now, that's great for people that own homes or selling homes. Not so great for people buying homes, right?
Right. And it's not that good for renters either. I mean, they've been going up at the same pace or even worse.
Absolutely.
So, right now they're facing the new lease.
Right. Okay, so before we get into Hometown Heroes, I want to talk to you a little bit about the state of the housing market now. So you're in the mortgage side. Obviously, you deal with realtors all the time. So there's all kinds of people involved in this real estate market that have different opinions. But what's your opinion on the market now?
Well, it's a different one than it was, obviously, when 2006 was a big peak because, that was the mortgage guy's fault. We had some strange products. If you breathe in a mirror, you bought a house. And that rubber band back because that's not a good qualification way to do that. So now it's just, we're driven with fast inflation, and property values have always outpaced inflation.
Okay.
So that kind of was a self-fulfilling prophecy. We have four things against us right now in difficulty for home buyers, and that is we obviously have higher value for property. We have higher interest rates, higher taxes because of the higher valuation, and Florida has the other problem with the insurances.
Sure, higher. Absolutely.
So you throw those four factors in together, you have much higher cost of home ownership. Now, in a healthy economy, 3 times your annual income would be the house you can afford. It was easy math. I remember giving people that formula years and years ago.
I definitely remember that one about ours. Yes.
Now you're looking at the cost of housing is 5.9, almost 6 times an annual income. So it makes it very, very difficult to afford for especially the new ones coming out now. The new kids on the block are millennials are starting to buy houses and going, help.
Yeah,
and their parents are saying, help. That's my house.
You're so right on all four of those things. I mean, it's interesting. I'm certainly not an expert, but I try to follow as much as I can. But interest rates obviously don't matter too much to cash buyer, right? Because you're not mortgage, you're not paying. You're just paying the cash price. So, but it's the folks that don't have the entire $400,000 in the bank to be able to pay.
Right, and they have those people who actually have the money to do it. They have to think about the opportunity loss as well. Are they going to put that into the property, or is it for them the same investment as burying in the backyard?
Right.
So they're hoping the value of the property is going to go up. I mean, you hear the argument all the time. Back when I bought a house, my interest rate was 12%. But then you hear, your house was $50,000.
Right.
Compare to that, when I bought my first house, I was making $16,000 a year.
Wow. Can you imagine anybody making $16,000?
Yeah. I mean, so the incomes have not followed along, obviously, with the valuation, but I still think there's a way to make it affordable. There's ways to make it work. That's what we're going to do.
Yeah, and we'll get into that in a minute. So, so this Hometown Heroes program, I think is from what I've read, a very great way of doing that. But before we get to that, what are some of the difficulties you found in new home buyers now? Because are people trying to get into the market now? I mean, you mentioned those big things, but are there specific things that the buyers feel like they've cleared a hurdle, 2 or 3 hurdles, that fourth hurdle they just stumble on?
We're kind of in a different world too right now. So I'll approach it in 2 ways. One, is it the right time to buy? Is the market going to turn? And what we've seen is there have been some little markets here and there that the worm has turned, but seasonally speaking, we're going into the buying market right now. So the June contracts are the July closings, and that's our biggest closing month of the year. And we've already seen our seasonal adjustment with March kind of teeters off a little bit. So we have January, February, and March, and then we start getting up again. People are thinking the kids are getting out of school and they move. That's the seasonal buying time. But people are still coming into Florida by the thousands a day, and we don't have any more dirt in Pinellas County.
Yeah.
You got to level a house to rebuild it. So there's still a demand, and Pinellas County is one of them, and Tampa Bay as well. The other one is people just don't want to talk to a professional anymore. They just want to go on the internet.
Yeah.
I'll get it figured out. So I was talking to a chiropractor the other day, and he said, I got some problems with my credit, but I'm just going to go ahead and go on the internet. I think I got it figured out. I'm going to deal with that first before I talk to you. And I told him, what's funny? I have a lower back pain, but I went on the internet. And once I'm done with that and doing it myself, then I'm going to come see you. And he goes, ouch. Okay, I get it now. So I've been doing this for 37 years. I hope I'm better than the internet, at least before AI takes over.
Yeah, well, yeah, we're all going to learn AI. So, okay, so let's get into the Hometown Heroes now. It's not a new product. It's been around, I don't know how long.
About a couple years.
Okay.
And it's been slow going and getting it started and then momentum because the professionals who have to know about this program, they have to go to classes.
Gotcha.
And it wasn't open for everyone. There are only lender level lenders who do the, so you have a mortgage broker who gives the loan to another lender, they close it with their money. A lender takes the money, they close the loan, underwrite the loan, and sell it. Then you get a bank, they have their bank products.
Gotcha.
So I'm right in that middle area, that lender level. So those are the ones that kind of do this predominantly.
And it had been, there were certain occupations that qualify. I think it's Hometown Heroes. So.
Got the little pretty pictures here.
Yeah.
You got policemen, you got a medical professional, a teacher, a firefighter, but it wouldn't be for the bus driver of the school. Even though he may have a Pinellas County School District email address, it's not for him. So there's actually a 27-page document with documenting each one of their specific jobs.
Specifically,
And if you're a therapist, physical therapist, great. You're board certified in the state, that's still good. So I have these jobs, and they're for our workers. They call them our Hometown Heroes.
Yeah.
And it was a great program to come out with them. But, some doctors just pay cash for their house, so it may not be good for them.
So what I thought was interesting about this is, again, affordable housing I'm passionate about promoting, all the way back to when I was on a city commission like 6 years ago when I thought it was going to be a crisis. Now it's a full-blown crisis. And folks, I think the whole affordable housing thing needs a whole rebranding because some people, when they hear affordable housing, they watch too many 1970s crime shows, right?
Right.
And I think immediately
I'm going to be in
projects,
in the projects,
right?
And
which obviously the lowest income is part of that whole thing, but it's broader, right? So when you get into these kind of folks, what we like to call workforce housing, right? The people that work in Safety Harbor should be able to afford a home in Safety Harbor. So that's where that is. But it goes even farther, right? Because I've been talking to people, I'm like, imagine you've raised your kid in Safety Harbor. Entire time. They go off to college, they get a job, meet somebody, get married, want to have a family, they want to raise their kids in the town they grew up in.
A salmon swims back upstream. They come back.
You can't afford a home here, so you go somewhere else. So that's all part of this, the big umbrella of affordable housing, right? So talk to me about the changes. They're coming up July 1st, right? So you're not going to have to wear one of these uniforms to qualify anymore, right?
So about $700 million has been added to the Florida housing program. And it's going to change the Hometown Hero program forever. So there's some benefits to it. But what this will change to is you don't have to wear one of these shirts. You can work for a Florida-based business.
Okay.
You still have to be a first-time home buyer. But you work for a Florida-based business and you can qualify for this program.
Okay.
A lot of people ask me, can you be retired? There's only one that can still meet this program, be retired if they're a veteran. Because you still have to work for a Florida-based business. And it sounds mean. I was a teacher for 30 years, I retired, but are you a veteran? We can still get you in. But you have to have a job working for a Florida-based business. That's really easy to verify. You're self-employed. Go to Sunbiz. I found you.
Yep.
You're good to go.
So so that definitely is gonna open us up to a lot of people then, right?
But but why do we really care about this program? People would say they want to know what it's all about. But I'm going to floor you with how cool this.
Well, that's what I was going to jump into next. So walk us through this. Again, we don't have an hour because I'm ready to talk 4 hours about it. But what are some of the key elements that actually make it? I don't want to say affordable to buy a home, but as affordable as maybe is possible in this market, maybe?
Well, the first thing that you need to know about is that it's still the same FHA, VA, Fannie Mae, and Freddie Mac mortgage. It's still the same as far as underwriting criteria.
Okay, so that's some crazy thing from Bolivia or something, right?
It's still that underwriting, those standard underwriting rules, but it's with sprinkles. So when we talk about sprinkles, it controls fees. So there aren't any origination fees. They're not allowed to be charged. So when you hear about those junk fees that a lender charges, and they usually charge them to have an underwriter, a processor, or management, it's out the window.
Yeah.
I'm not allowed to charge that. So that's more that we have to eat. Another thing is it forces our commissions way down on the program, so I don't get to make a lot of money on it. So I'm a really good guy doing it.
Yeah.
What the end of the story is that the loan tends to be between a half a point to a point lower than its compared program.
Okay.
So now you're getting lower fees and a better rate. And that rate is dictated by Florida Housing. I have to go to their website, pull it up, and it can be updated every day and lock it in their system. That's just the beginning, though. So now we have a reserved or better interest rate, stricter rules regarding the fees, but also to qualify for the program, again, starting July 1st, work for a Florida-based business, but you need to be a first-time home buyer. This is just for home buyers, and the definition of a first-time home buyer is someone who hasn't owned a home in the last 3 years.
so
that means
not really a first time necessarily.
You could be a first-timer again, but I sold my house, I had problems, I got it, but now I'm ready to do it again. Guess what? You're back in business. The other great thing about it is they can have a little second mortgage.
I've noticed that, yeah.
It's 5% of the loan amount, not the purchase price. It's a little bit different, but that's a considerable sum of money that they don't pay interest on. They got to pay it back, but that's if you sell the house, you move, you keep the house and turn it into a rental, but that's a problem. You got to pay it back. It needs to be your primary residence. You refinance, or a lot of people say if it's paid off.
Yeah.
So those are the main reasons you have to pay it back. But if you say you got $10,000 a loan, right, and you bury that in the backyard, 10 years from now, is that $10,000 going to be worth 10 grand?
Right.
No, you're paying back cheap money.
Yeah, right.
What's going to happen?
Yeah.
So that lowers your out-of-pocket costs. So here's the second mortgage. You're getting more than the value of the purchase price, a lot of times in financing. So that's huge.
And that's really one of the keys of making it affordable is getting that monthly payment down. However you need to do it. I mean, there might be some strategies that are more dangerous to the buyer, right, than others, but really that's what we're talking about. If we can get that monthly payment down to whatever it is that person or that couple, that family can afford.
Right.
And it's got them into a home, right?
Right. I mean, the higher price the homes are, even if you had a 3.5% down loan, that's a lot of money when you're considering a $400,000 house or a $300,000. I mean, this even works.
And that's really what you're looking at now, right? You're
Yeah.
not going to find much under 300.
Oh yeah, and FHA right now has loan limits in the 400 range, and you're into $700,000 in a Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac loan. So there's a lot that can go into it, and you can qualify. I always tell people sometimes you can qualify for more than you want to, and that's why you have to find the happy medium.
Right.
Work with somebody to help you with that. You also have to take a class. How much is it? Free. It's free. You take the class. Certificate's good for a year. There are some fee classes you can take, but I like to give you the ones that are free and online. You can do it at your own pace. We've helped a lot of people through that.
How many people do you think take a first-time home buyers take a class? I mean, not being required.
Not enough.
I did it. I mean, I was scared to death buying a house, so I went to anything I could. So I'm like, I voluntarily wanted to go learn about all this because I didn't want to trust somebody like you. Right. You're not trustworthy, but you know what? I wanted to understand.
No, it makes sense because you really need to. If I'm Rocky and I'm going to go hit Apollo Creed, I'm gonna go work out. I'm gonna do my punches, my get ready. I want to get in the ring and I want to be ready for that fight. So if you're going to be prepping, it's a good idea to take first-time home buyer class and learn the language. Because I've had a lot of first-time home buyers come into my office and I start talking to them and it's another language and they don't understand. I like having them prepped and taking a class to learn this. Now, there are some other restrictions. I was
going to get into that. That was going to be my last question. There's always fine print in here.
There's always a fine print.
So talk about those like income restrictions, loan size, maximum, any of that other like fine print stuff that people are like, yeah, this is too good to be true.
Well, the problem with a lot of these programs is that it's the Goldilocks effect. You have to be just right to fit in it. But this uses a different area median income limit, which for us in Pinellas County, if you make over $128,000, you can't use the program. So people who are applying to this program make below that.
Yeah.
And I've qualified people with much less for more property. It's important to understand that part of the aspect. The other side of it is the loan limits are standard conforming and FHA loan limits. You're not going to get a super jumbo, big $1 million house, but you could still qualify for this for properties over 700,000.
Wow.
So it's good, and it's really opened the door for a lot of people. And now you're seeing people come together to qualify for a home. 2 couples coming in to buy a house together. It's amazing what they'll do
That makes
to
sense.
try to get into a house because the rent,
Yeah.
it's just too much.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Jay. I hope you stick
you.
around. We're going to do the 5 Qs here in a minute, and but I want to jump into the news here real quickly. So once again, our news is sponsored by Koalas Creative's new T-Public Safety Harbor storefront featuring more than 90 Safety Harbor themed T-shirts and more. And a link to that will be in the show description. So this week, the City of Safety Harbor installed a bench plaque in honor of Whistle Stop Grill and Bar owner Louis Kinney, who died on Christmas Eve. You can check that out across the street from Whistle Stop. Mark Wilson of Fox 13 shows you the impact the Florida Sheriff's Youth Ranch is having on children it is home to. And Larissa Scott of ABC Action News details new road work on US 19 near Safety Harbor that is likely to snarl traffic for a long time. All right, our things to do this weekend. Friday is a performance of Alice, a musical adventure at Cypress Meadows Community Church. Saturday is Independent Bookstore Day, and we have an independent bookstore now. So there's lots of activities down at Portkey Books on Main Street. And also national recording artist Sean Mullins plays Sham C that night. And Sunday is Country Fest at Harbor Market. Get your hat and boots out. Featuring national recording artists Justin Biltonen from Three Doors Down and Chas Collins. And more details on all these news and things to do can be found in the Koalas 34695 app. Available for free on the Google Play or Apple App Stores. Okay. Are you ready?
Don't be claustrophobic.
Oh, yes, that's right. I forgot that you came up with that new term for me. All right, so you know how this works. We got 2 categories. The one that almost no one ever takes, famous Hungarian violinist
Ooh.
of the 1680s. Or you can choose Ohio.
Oh, really? That'll be embarrassing if I don't know the answer to that. I'm from there. I'm going to do Ohio.
Okay, I figured you figured you might. So fun fact as I open the envelope here, you grew up in Upper Arlington, correct?
I did. Little suburb of Columbus.
I grew up in Gahanna, a little suburb of Columbus. We used to be our big rivals. Probably not so much now, but we didn't have a lot of respect for Upper Arlington, as we called it.
Not a lot of
all
people
you rich
did.
people there.
They called us Up Your Arlington.
All right, let's see what your answers are going to be for Ohio.
All right.
Okay, cue number 1. Best Ohio hot dogs, Tony Paco's or Skyline Chili. And for those that don't know, Tony Paco's is a Toledo institution.
Yes.
Skyline
yes.
Chili is a Cincinnati institution.
I
a
have.
little bit of a war going on.
I have to go to the Cincinnati. I have to. The Skyline Chili was epic when I was growing up. That was good stuff right there.
Good answer. That's why I said I lost this fight to somebody the other day who swear on Tony Paco. Skyline Chili, man. That was
up by
Ohio.
the Steak by the Lakes.
Yeah. Where Jamie Farr was from, right? All right, cue number 2. Biggest celebrity from Ohio, in your opinion? We've got a lot of celebrities.
Oh,
a lot
my
of
gosh.
presidents. A lot of space people. A lot of actors.
I was going to say John Glenn. John Glenn was our famous astronaut, but a lot of people don't know some of the most famous people from Ohio. There was these 2 brothers. They owned a bicycle shop.
Yes.
And their last name was Wright, just like mine. Those famous people, they just flew in Kitty Hawk. They were in Ohio.
That's a good one. I mean, I didn't think about that off the top of my head, but obviously you should, because of Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, by the way.
And my son's there.
Yeah, see? Not named for you, named for the
Well,
Wilburn Orr.
I still tell people that.
I always have to go with Neil Armstrong. Like, I touched his foot on the moon for the first time, and now we're probably sending people back. I always thought that was kind of cool. But a little fun story, Jennifer Garner went to a small Ohio college the exact 4 years that I went to a different small Ohio college.
Wow.
So had our guidance counselors been a little bit different, I could have been Ben Affleck.
It's true.
Just didn't work out.
I'm just trying to picture you as Batman.
So now I just have to have Capital One Visa card. All right, key number 3. What do you miss most about Ohio since moving? And how long have you not been in Ohio? I don't know if I know this answer.
Oh my gosh, 30 years.
Okay, so a lot like me then. So yes,
30 years. But what I miss the most, I honestly say it's always the fall colors. But that was something you always look forward to. So let's see the fall colors this weekend. And now the leaves fall off in a day. Which happened when I was a kid because I raked the leaves and come back the next day and go, man, there's more leaves down.
It's so funny you say that because my wife, who's also from Ohio, but she always mocks me because I always want to go back in the fall when Ohio State's playing.
Right.
But she always jokes me, you like the leaf crunching, because that's what I always say. Because the fall, we don't have a fall in Florida.
Well, and the grass.
We have a summer and we have a summer light here, right?
I take my shoes off and walk around.
Yeah, so they're very soft, right?
Not like the Florida grass, which is
you can cut so right.
It's like walking on a reef.
I just love the crunching of the leaves. So that fall coolness. So all right, well we are well more in tune than even I thought we might be. So all right, cue number 4, quote unquote Midwest work ethic. Is that something real or something that we just say?
No, I do think that there's a different kind of work ethic because we have a lot of farmers. And I grew up around a lot of farmers,
Amish community.
And their idea of if you got up, if you woke up at 8 o'clock in the morning, half your day's over. What are you doing? Going to sleep your life away?
And lunch by 8 a.m.
They say to get more done all day than you've done before breakfast. They're true. They're true. But yeah, there is a powerful work ethic to grow up with. I know my wife. She teaches me about it. I hear about it, but she's the one that teaches me now. But it is true. It is true.
All right, I think so too. But we're biased probably, so I guess we'll find out from people
obviously
whether they don't think that's a real thing. All right, cue number 5, last one. Is Ohio State going to win the football national championship this year?
Oh, I hope so. We do have some new players, and this is our final year with that. With our quarterback, I believe.
No, a new quarterback this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting. I can only hope. If we don't win the national championship, I just want one thing.
Yes, I know.
Beat Michigan. That's all. Just beat Michigan.
Oh,
2 years in a row, really?
Yeah.
Got wiped.
After 47 in a row that we won. So
I'll have to dig up all my Ohio stuff out of my backyard now. Buried it in shame for a year.
Well, I agree. I certainly hope we win, but it's always terrifying because college football to me is like a basketball game. Nothing matters until like the last 2 minutes of the basketball game, right?
Right.
I don't know why they play the entire basketball game. Just put 2 minutes on the clock. And it'll be so much easier, right? Because nothing matters up until then. And same with college football. Nothing matters.
They should do that with baseball because 7 innings. Come on, 9.
Well, now baseball games are going so fast, it doesn't matter.
The game's so long, you give you time to stand up and stretch.
I can't even get 2 beers at a baseball game now. It goes so quick. All right, thanks, Jay, for being on the show. Appreciate it very much. Check out the Hometown Heroes program. I'll put Jay's contact information in the show notes so you can reach out to him if you want, or you can just Google like his chiropractor did. But but it might be easier to talk to a real professional about.
I'll send you a home buyer guide.
Yes, and it'd be awesome to hear from first-time home buyers that actually go through this program and get a home.
Yeah,
that's what we want, right?
Well, I want some success stories. There are many.
All right, thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you next week.